Namaskar. So today we will discuss some more points related to the world map. So first of all, let me remind you that the 0 degree longitude which is passing through the countries, yesterday we have not discussed. So today, the 0 degree longitude passes through UK. This is UK. Then we have France. Then we have the Spain. Okay, the Spain. And then we have Algeria in Africa. Then we have Mali. And then we have Burkina Faso. And then finally the Ghana. So these are the countries through which the 0 degree longitude passes. Now let us learn about other prominent points. Now first thing is the continents which we have seen. Take for example the North America or South America, other countries, other continents. Now we have overland boundaries. Overland boundaries say between Asia and Europe part. So Asia and Europe part, they share the boundaries at Ural Mountains. Then we have the Ural River. Then we have Caucasus. And then we have the Turkish Straits. So these are the overland boundaries of Europe and Asia. Now coming to this Africa and Asia. So they share the overland boundaries up to Isthmus of Suez. So this particular Suez Canal we have, so Isthmus of Suez. Now coming to the North America and we have the South America, we have Isthmus of Panama. So that is Isthmus of Panama, up to which they share the boundaries. Whereas we said Africa and Asia, Isthmus of Suez. So this part is Isthmus of the Suez, S-U-E-Z. Now the next prominent one is between Europe, this part is Europe and Africa. So they are separated by the water body called Mediterranean Sea. So as the word Mediterranean means in the middle of the earth. Of course, that was what held by the people in those days. Now next is Europe and America. So we have here Europe and the America separated by Atlantic Ocean. Okay, separated by Atlantic Ocean. Next we have Europe and North America. This part is Europe and North America. They are separated by Arctic Ocean. Arctic Ocean. Europe and North America separated by Arctic Ocean. North America and Europe, as we said, separated by Atlantic Ocean. Now North America, and here we have the South America, separated by Caribbean Sea. This is Caribbean Sea. Okay? Right. North America and Asia. This is North America and this part is Asian part. So both are separated by Bering Strait. Bering Strait, where North America is separated from Asia. Now the 3 points where Africa almost touches Eurasia. So this entire part is Eurasia, and we have Europe. This part is Europe. Now the 3 points where this African continent and the Eurasia part almost touch each other. So one is at Gibraltar, another is at Suez, and another one point is at Bab el-Mandeb. So 3 points where Africa almost touches Eurasia. So 3 prominent points we discuss. So now it is the time to name about the other prominent water bodies. So in this session we will discuss about some prominent water bodies. So yesterday the oceans part we discussed. So today, now let us move to some other prominent seas, bay or straits. Now we have here between Greenland and Europe part. This is Greenland Sea. This is Greenland Sea. Now the next one here towards the north of Russia's we find the Bering Sea. Bering Sea. The European Russia, northern side, we have Bering Sea. Next, we have this in pink color I have shown. This is White Sea. This is White Sea. Again in European part of Russia. Next we have this Kara Sea. Still moving towards eastern side of Russia, we have Laptev Sea. This is Laptev Sea. Still moving towards extreme east, we have the East Siberian Sea. East Siberian Sea. Next, moving towards southeast, of Russia, we have Sea of Okhotsk. Sea of Okhotsk. These islands are Honshu, Hokkaido, Kyushu, Shikoku are the islands of Japan, and this sea is called as the Sea of Japan. Sea of Japan. Between Japan and China and Russia. Now between the Korean Peninsula and China, we have here we have shown in yellow color the Yellow Sea. Yellow Sea. Towards eastern side of China, we have East China Sea, and towards the south of China, we have this South China Sea, much in the discussion nowadays. And here you can see the Philippines. So this part is the Philippines Sea. East side of Indonesia, we have Celebes Sea. And now the Coral Sea, Tasman Sea, Timor Sea, Arafura Sea, we have Java, because in Indonesia we have Sumatra, Java, Bali, Borneo, Irian Jaya. Next, coming towards our India, we have Bay of Bengal, and towards the western side of India, the Arabian Sea. This red color is the Persian Gulf. So this interior one is Persian Gulf, and then we have the Gulf of Oman. Okay, so Persian Gulf, and here the entry part is the Gulf of Oman. Now the water body which separates Africa from Asia is the Red Sea. The interior part is the Red Sea, and whereas the opening is Sea of Gulf of Aden. This is Gulf of Aden, and the interior one is the Red Sea. The water body shown in green color separating Europe from Africa is the Mediterranean Sea. Mediterranean means that which is in the center of the earth. Red Sea and Mediterranean Sea are connected by Suez Canal, that you are aware. Now next is the North Sea towards the southeast side of United Kingdom, North Sea. And here we have shown below Sweden and Finland in orange color, that is Baltic Sea. Whereas between Sweden and Finland, the interior part is the Gulf of Bothnia. So this blue color part is Gulf of Bothnia. Between Spain and France we have the Bay of Biscay. Just at the equator, Gulf of Guinea. Even though we write Guinea, but we have to pronounce as Guinea. So this is Gulf of Guinea. Now moving towards the North America part, this green structure which I have shown, that is the Gulf of Mexico. Gulf of Mexico. And the sea which is separating the South America from North America is Caribbean Sea. So this is Caribbean Sea. This pink color is the Gulf of California, whereas this is Gulf of Alaska and this is Bering Sea. This part just towards north western side of Canada, Beaufort Sea. Towards the northeast side we have Hudson Bay. Towards the east the Labrador Sea. And we have between Canada and Greenland the Baffin Bay. Okay. So here we try to point out some of the important water bodies surrounding the world. At the same time, now the prime question here is, besides this there are some bodies, water bodies, which are again very important ones, that we will discuss when we will learn continental ones. Now here the most important question is, how many countries are there in the world? This is a fundamental question. How many countries we have in the world? Now let us discuss this in a proper manner. As you know, any country declares independence for it or want to be an independent nation, two things are very important. That is, it must be either a member of UNO. Number two, it has to be recognized by the number of countries. Number three, it has to be recognized by some world level organizations like International Monetary Fund, UNO, or other prominent organizations. Now let us see in general how many countries we have. Now this answer will have different answering. The question has different answers, and why also I will explain. Number one, let us discuss plainly that in the continent North America has 23 countries. South America has 12 countries. So I am writing here, so for easy understanding. So in North America we have altogether 23 countries. South America we have 12 countries. In Europe we have 43. Europe we have 43. Africa, the maximum, that is 54 countries. Africa we have 54 countries. Now coming to Asia, 47 countries. Asia 47. And now coming to Oceania or Oceania, we have 14, yes, 14 countries. Now this is what generally we hear. So North America 23 nations, South America 12, Europe 43, Africa having 54, Asia having 47, and Oceania having 14. Altogether they make 193, which are the members of UNO. Now if you go by the countries which are members of UNO, then their number is 193. But at the same time there are also countries which are not members of UNO. Okay? In this, the best example is the Vatican City and also the Palestine. So if you add these two also, the number of countries are 195. This is second type of answer. That is only members of UNO, 193. If you include along with the members of UNO, non-members of UNO, then it is 193 plus 2. Now let us go by the other one. The other one is the sovereign and dependent territories. The sovereign countries and dependent territories if you add and the countries which are recognized by International Monetary Fund, it has recognized some sovereign countries and some dependent territories also. And then it makes 237 countries. Okay? Now the last one. Still it is not the right answer. 237 also is not right. Why not? Now the point is, sir, what about the countries which are autonomous but that is disputed? Take for example the Western Sahara. Take for example Abkhazia, Ossetia, and so on. So many countries are there which are autonomous but they are disputed. So such countries are also, whether they have to be counted as sovereign countries or not is a big question mark. Since I said that any country is to be counted or not depends upon whether it has a membership of UN or not. Number two, recognized by many countries or not, or recognized by international organizations or bodies. These are all the points on the basis of which a country is recognized. So I said 193, 195, 237 or still higher. Now, here, now the time has come to learn about how we can classify these countries. How to learn these many countries, it is highly difficult. So to make the things important, classification is the most important. So how to classify these countries? Okay, right. Now the point is, number one, countries which are landlocked countries. Okay. Now what is a landlocked country? A country which has no access to the sea or surrounded all the sides by other countries are referred as landlocked countries. Now let us take one example. Paraguay in South America, Paraguay. Paraguay is a landlocked country because it is surrounded by other countries of South America. It has no access or opening to the sea. Like that, it may be Chad, okay, it may be Botswana in Africa. Like that, it may be Switzerland, Czechoslovakia, I mean Czech now, no, Slovakia separate, Slovak Republic. These are also landlocked in Europe. Like that, Kazakhstan in Asia, also landlocked. Now, what is landlocked? You have understood. So now, the exercise number one is, you should try to find out continent-wise how many landlocked countries we have as per continent. And if you see here in North America, very interesting that in North America you will not find a single landlocked country. That is interesting. This makes map pointing interesting. You should know the theory. Coming to South America, very few, and no need to discuss. Okay, so we have Paraguay and Bolivia. Remaining only two countries are landlocked. Now coming to Europe, also we have more landlocked countries. In Africa also we have good number of landlocked countries. Even in Asia like Mongolia, Kazakhstan, Nepal, Afghanistan, all are landlocked countries. Now there is another point, right? Australia or Oceania, also we don't find the landlocked countries. That is interesting. Now some countries, like a landlocked country surrounded by all the sides by other landlocked countries. That means if this is one landlocked country and surrounded by again landlocked countries, then it will be called as double landlocked. Okay? Okay. So now, example Uzbekistan. Try to find out the other one. So Uzbekistan is a beautiful example of doubly landlocked. Now the next important classification is the transcontinental countries. Now you see how we have to group the countries, and gradually we have to enhance our knowledge. Now what are transcontinental countries? Take the best example of Russia. So Russia is the eastern part and central part, you will find is almost in Asia. It is in Asia. And whereas the western part of Russia is in Europe. So that means Russia is in Eurasia, we can say, because maximum portion in Asian side and less portion is in European side. So this is a transcontinental country. So when a country is located in more than one continent, as Russia is one example, Kazakhstan an example, Turkey, Egypt, these are all transcontinental countries. Now here one question comes. Take for example France, Netherlands, United Kingdom, USA and many other European and other countries. These countries have some islands miles away from their home country. So then, can they be called as transcontinental? Yes. But they are called as non-contiguous, because that is not, here you see the Russia right from this corner to this corner, it is a single piece almost, and it is spread across two continents, a single piece spread across two continents. So that is called as a contiguous transcontinental country. But if a country is located in Europe but it has its territories in Indian Ocean, in the Caribbean region, in the near to Argentina Falkland Islands, means overseas territories, then many countries will come under the transcontinental. Okay? Now, the next important point is we can also group the countries in another way, and that is compact countries. Now what are compact countries? Take the example here, say Kenya. At the same time you can take the example of Belgium here Belgium. So if you take the example of countries like Kenya, Belgium, Uruguay, okay, here you have Uruguay. These are almost compact, small countries, and it is keeping the people packed and united. Such kind of almost round, small countries with the capital almost centrally located are grouped as compact countries. Now the next is the fragmented countries, or the best example is an archipelago. Archipelago means a group of islands. So we have countries like Indonesia, say Philippines. So when you go by these countries, you will find that these countries are scattered because they are islands. So they are scattered. That is not a single piece. Then such countries are called as or classified as fragmented or archipelago. Either fragmented possible, or it can be a group of islands, archipelago also possible. Now the third type is the perforated. Now what is this perforated? Take the example of South Africa. If you take the example of South Africa, you will find that South Africa is surrounding two countries. One is Swaziland, another is Lesotho. Should I ask you to show South Africa or draw South Africa's map in color, then what will happen? Just imagine. This Lesotho and Swaziland you have to show in white color. Remaining map of South Africa will be colorful. Then the enclaves will look as if South Africa is punctured or perforated. Okay? So that's why a country like South Africa is an example of a perforated country. So generally in stamps you can see small holes, that is perforated. The same way bill books, they are also perforated so that easily the paper could be torn. So South Africa is one example. Now another example I am giving. Take the example of Italy. Here we have Italy. Now how or why Italy can be called as the same perforated country? Because inside Italy we have Vatican City. Inside Italy, means surrounded by Italy, I mean San Marino. So now if you have to show only the colorful map of Italy, only Italian region, then you have to give some space, you have to leave for Vatican City in white color. San Marino also you have to leave in white color. Then how Italy will look? It will look like a perforated. So perforated countries. Now next we have elongated countries. And here one example I would like to give, the best example. So in South America we have here towards the western side. Chile, this is the long country, okay, very long country. It is Chile, very narrow strip of land, okay, but very long. So this country is an example of elongated country, okay, elongated country. Try to find out what could be the other countries examples of elongated. Next we have protruding, okay, protruding countries. So protruding country means the main part of the country will be somewhat wide, then it will start moving into or protruding into still more long region. Means there will be an extension which will appear like a tail, okay, as you see like a tadpole. The main head part of the tadpole is somewhat thicker, wider, whereas the tail looks quite thinner. Now this is only for explanation, not to defame any sort of countries, okay, right. Now the point is, take the example of Myanmar, take the example of the Thailand, okay, so Myanmar and the Thailand, best examples. If you see them in the map, you will find their upper portions are bit wider and the southern portions are very thin and they almost protrude into another region to a long distance, but very thin narrow strip of land moving deep into another territory. It appears like that. So such countries are protruding countries. Example, Myanmar or Thailand. Now the next one here, the time has come. Now we need to know just two more points, and that is which countries are the largest countries in the world, and then by area and by population. Now let us learn. And if you will go by the land area, so then the number one is we have to write is Russia. Even though Russia was fragmented or disintegrated by 1991, but still it is continuing as the largest country by area. Next we have to write the Canada. Okay. So now starts the problem, but here I would like to explain. So what you need to write after Russia, you write down C U B and A. Try to understand. This is a simple technique to remember the countries by area, the largest. Now Russia you have written, then you have written CUBA, Cuba, C for Canada, U for USA, B for Brazil, and A for Australia. Then of course seventh one is India, because India's position is 7th. So India is 7. Okay, now here the problem started. That is, we have a conflict. There was a time when China was given or allotted the third position, USA the fourth. But as we see the books written by eminent scholars, as per that latest reports we see, then we find USA is in third and China is in the fourth position. Then what you need to do from bottom to up, first A for Australia, B for Brazil, then here the space which I have left, write C for China. Okay, so first you have written C, U, B, A, Cuba, C for Canada, U for USA, B for Brazil, A for Australia. Then from bottom, A for Australia, B for Brazil and C for China. In this way, and India is in the seventh position. Okay, and after 7 we have the 8th position is Argentina. Okay, Argentina. Now 9th position is Kazakhstan and 10th position is, earlier it was Sudan, but you have to remember that from Sudan a new country was carved out by the name South Sudan, so thus giving the way to Algeria. So now Algeria is holding the 10th position. So these are the largest countries by area. Now if you go by population, so as you are aware, by population, so the first one is the China, because China is the most populated, and the second one we have India. India is the second largest populated country in the world. So next we have USA, United States of America. Then again Asian countries, Indonesia, followed by Pakistan. So first two are Asian countries, then USA from North America, then again two Asian countries, Indonesia and Pakistan. Next is a South American country, Brazil. Okay. Next we have one African country, and that is Nigeria. Again comes Asian country Bangladesh, followed by Russia and followed by Mexico. Next of course Japan. So these are sufficient. So in this you find out of the 10, 5 are Asian countries: China, India, Indonesia, Pakistan and Bangladesh. Okay, so these are the countries by area, the top 10, and by population, top 10. Still more in map pointing, so many interesting concepts and the points, queries which crop in your mind, everything will be answered, because after this world map we will discuss continent wise, then with more clarity, with more questions will be answered, and whatever sort of questions related to map pointing are coming into your mind will go answered, and along with that different tricks and techniques wherever possible will be also given. So with this exercise of water bodies, and then as I stated, that is the largest countries, and both by area and population. At the same time, the grouping of countries or classification of countries also has to be practiced by you. So here we wind up the class for today. Thank you and have a nice day.